What's going on, my ninjas? And shout out to all the ninjas throughout the entire Omniverse. It's the man OMNI Omni, etc. Back at it again with another video. Listen, we're here with Technosite Encore, the extended update of Warframe 1999. And let me tell you, it's a beautiful time. We have a list of reworks, not just for Warframes themselves, but how Exalted weapons work. So that means Warframes like Wukong, Excalibur, Mesa, and even Warframes with pseudo-exalted weapons such as Ash, Atlas, and others have received major, minor reworks, but it really changes the game. Today we're going to be talking about Excalibur's update and why he is now back. If he ever was, I don't think anybody ever had him at S tier, but with this update, Excalibur is at S tier for me, and we're going to get into why. So without further ado, let's get into the build. All right, so in the build, let's get right down to it. Real quick, as I said before, we have a bunch of stuff in this update to go over. I will be making a bunch of weapon videos, and that's my only note. Side note before we get into the build. So for Umbra Excalibur, he's gotten a massive rework to his 4, which puts him, for me, as I said before, it puts him for me back at the top of the, he is an S tier godlike Warframe right now because of it, and we're gonna get into why. So without further ado, let's start with the abilities. So for this build of Excal, my favorite build of Excal, we have Slash Dash. I dropped his 2, which is the radio howl. That's good against sentience, stripping damage resistance off the sentience and the like, in order to do more damage to them. I took that off because he actually has a pseudo version of that within one of his combos that still works and does the exact same thing. So I haven't really lost anything by taking his 2 off. So I've replaced it with Warcry. Warcry y'all know it increases speed, it increases armor, and decreases the speed of enemies around you. So it's great for melee builds, especially if you want to be up in the fray, which Excalibur is going to be all up in the fray, how I play him. Number 2, Warcry. Radio Javelin, I don't really get much usage out of it, but it's here, you know. And the thing that we're all here for, the Exalted Blade of Excalibur. This is his bread and butter. This is pretty much all he will be using on this Excalibur build. His passive, of course, does extra damage. Every Excalibur has extra damage and extra speed when wielding swords, extra attack speed, extra damage when wielding swords, or dual swords. That includes dual swords as well, but not doesn't work for the big heavy blades, just the single-handed sword, or the dual swords. No daggers. It even works for rapiers as well, but no heavy blades and no daggers. Okay, single-handed swords and dual swords only, as well as rapiers. And also I'm doing this on, of course, Umbra Excalibur, which is comparable to Excalibur Prime. And with Umbra Excalibur, Umbra Excal, he will, he also has the ability to be sentient, to essentially play the role of a specter when you're in your operator or drifter form, when you transfer out of the Warframe. All right, with that said, let's go straight to the heavy hitters, the mods. All right. So for the mods, I have Steel Charge, which melee damage is a no-brainer. Power Drift for that ability strength. Umbral Fiber, Umbral Vitality, pretty much comes with Excalibur Umbra. I swapped out the third Umbra slot. As you can see, Umbra Intensify is over here. I saw that out, I formatted that out so that I can stick Precision Intensify, further bolstering his 4 ability. Because we really want to hone in on the 4. Like the rest of the build is cool, but the 4 is the reason why we're here. That said, augmented it with Chromatic Blade, plus 300% status chance. That's also modified by ability strength, so it goes to 900 status chance in this build. Hunter's Adrenaline, because for my melee builds, I like the Berserker. The more you hit them, the stronger they get, type deal. So need that energy economy for a bit of energy economy. Blind Rage, and then I have Equilibrium for two purposes: is the energy economy and getting more health return. You're going to be killing a lot of drops are going to be falling. You're going to be getting energy and health orbs all around you from all the death you're dealing out. So it makes sense for this build. Equilibrium, as long as you keep killing, you have nothing to worry about for health return or energy return wise. And also I had energy return wise, I know I have Hunter's Adrenaline on there, but should I have a Dante in the party or people throwing on effects of me that mitigate me from being able to take that damage, that little bit of damage to my health, Equilibrium kind of sews that up nicely and gives me what I would be missing. But at the end of the day, you're going to have a bunch of energy in this build, and I'm gonna show you why. Eternal War, to keep Warcry going. I didn't want to do any duration mods, didn't feel the need to do any duration mods. Just wanted to pump out as much damage as possible. And with Eternal War, with Warcry being my only buff that has a duration counter on it, Warcry helps me focus on that particular while building out everything else that I want to build out in the build. Okay, so Molt Augmented. So as you're doing all of this killing, you kill 200 people in a match, kill 200 enemies in a match, which would be very easy and quick for you to do as this new version of Excalibur. You gain additional ability strength, so it's a way to bake in more ability strength into the build. When it's all said and done, I believe it's 60% plus 60% ability strength. Great boon. All you have to do is knock a few heads off. Arcane Battery, of course, I love this on all my brawlers. It replaces flow and it supersedes flow. The more armor you have in the build, as you see right now, we're hovering around 1100. So the more armor you have in the build, the greater your energy pool is. We're already at 500, but it goes up to about 800 in this build for max energy pool. So with Equilibrium, with Hunter's Adrenaline, you have a lot of room to do what you need to do, and eventually you just won't worry about energy at all. What I wanted to be key when making this build was I don't want to have to think about anything but utter slaughter when I'm on the battlefield. So I don't want to have to think about my health. I don't want to have to constantly look at my energy pool and constantly be worried about getting energy drops or how I'm going to get energy or what have you. I just want to mindlessly deal out death and destruction on the battlefield. That's it. So Arcane Battery really helps there. Let's look at the Archon Shards. All right, so for the Archon Shards, we have 2 armor shards to give us, additional 450 armor, and we have 3 violet Archon Shards. In total, this would be about, I want to say 222. Hold on. Yeah, 222. Because we're over that threshold. So these are violet crit, melee crit Archon Shards, and we're starting off the game past the mark of 400 energy. I mean, not 400, 500 energy to double the effect. So each one of these is 74 instead of the 37 that you're seeing. Each one of these is 74. 74 times 3, that's 222 additional crit damage. So we're doing that much more crit damage. Now this build isn't going to really be doing red crits for my red crit fans, but I've seen video breakdowns on the difference between, you know, having red crits and actually doing a lot of damage with additional crit damage. So you could do red crits and you could hit for, let's say, you know, or you could red crit for 500,000, and that's cool. Or you could, or you can yellow crit for over 1 million in the millions. You know what I'm saying? You could yellow crit in the millions. So if there's anything that you bake into, or if there's any other buffs going on that you know, help the party's crits, like Ash's new smoke. I don't know if that goes for the party, so I'm not going to say that. But if there's any other buffs or effects in your squad that get you to red crits, then you'll be doing ridiculous damage on top of what you're already doing ridiculously by yourself. There's still be room for you to get buffed. Whereas if you're already at the red crit threshold, any additional crit buffs for your party are not going to actually work on you, because you're already at the red crit threshold. You're already there. However, if you're already critting in the millions casually for in the yellow crit zone, then by the time you go to the red crit, by the time you go to the orange crit, it'll be that much more. By the time you go to the red crit, it'll be that much more. See what I'm saying? So I focused on critical damage and not so much critical chance, because I want to put out as much damage as possible. So we got these Archon Shards here. Bypass everything. We're going to bypass these weapons that I'm leveling up. We're going to bypass this right here because it's not really necessary in the build. We're going, of course, you know I'm rocking Narman. You know I'm rocking Narman. But we're going straight to the Exalted Blade build and how I have it built out. So the thing that is impressive on this build is of course, now you see that Exalted Umbra has melee influence. It is really ridiculous. As a matter of fact, I want to try this. I want to swap this out because I haven't tested this. I want to try this out for that further crit damage. But yeah, it's ridiculous. So my build officially is Dreamer's Wrath, Sacrificial Steel, Sacrificial Pressure, Volcanic Edge, Northwind. All right. So with Chromatic Blade, just a quick side note, with Chromatic Blade, your color assigns a elemental status to your weapon. Now that mine is cold, I started with cold. All right, the blade, my blade's white. Well, my energy, my emissive, it goes off of the emissive. It used to do energy, but now it's emissive. So the emissive, let's go back. The emissive on your Warframe and the appearance All right. As you can see, it's got the snowy cold symbol right there because he's doing white emissive. That yields cold status on the Exalted blade. Now, I bolstered that with Northwind, and I gave it Volcanic Edge simply because I wanted to deal a bunch of blast damage. Because if we have melee influence over here, we are doing AoE with the slash with the blades that come out of the Exalted blade. That's technically an AoE. It's like a cone AoE. It's not all the way around or a PB or a point blank AoE, a PB AoE. It's more like a cone AoE. So we have the cone AoE of the blades. Then we have melee influence to spread status effects and status damage around. So let's make no mistake, if somebody is getting hit by a blade, whether they're getting hit by the blade or the sword itself, melee influence is still active. So the AoE can have an AoE. And then blast damage, which in and of itself is an AoE. So we have exponential AoE going on threefold with this build. It's ridiculous. Condition overload, because we want to take advantage of additional melee damage per status type affecting targets, which, you know, there will be, the status is now affecting every target in front of you. Galvanized Elementalist, additional status damage, also additional status chance. We got Blood Rush for more crit chance, and then Shocking Touch for electricity to start off the elemental influence so that we can chain a bunch of blast damage all over the place. This is my Nuke blade build. He nukes everything, destroys everything, has a great time, takes very little damage as a result of everything around him dying. And yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it. As soon as the Exalted blade comes out, Excalibur means business, folks. This is a very simple build, but highly effective. I suggest you all try it. Get your hands on an Excalibur, have a blast, have fun. You know, and until next time, till the next video, I don't really have much else to say. You could play around with them, do what you want to do with them. You don't have to be locked into my build. I'm not a build snob, so if you have any exciting things to add to this build or exciting nuances you would like to show, you know, get in the comment section, let me know. Overframe is a great website, and you can link your builds in the comment section. With that said, that's all I got. It's just a bunch of death and destruction on a massive scale with Excalibur. Peace, love, health, wealth to you all, and until next time.
See, it's the beat we choose. Let us sin, we're the guardians, baby, let the stakes rise.